Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Expensive Coins World, where we dive deep into the world of coins, collectibles, and they're the 2015 $1 coin of Australia featuring Queen Elizabeth II belongs to the broader series of circulating and commemorative issues struck by the Royal Australian Mint. On the obverse, the coin traditionally carries the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, the constitutional monarch of Australia at the time, who reigned from 1952 until her passing in 2022. The portrait used in 2015 was designed by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley, whose effigy of the Queen, introduced in 1998, is characterized by a more realistic depiction with greater attention to facial features, maturity, and regality, as opposed to the youthful profiles that had been used in earlier decades. The inscription, Elizabeth II, along with the country name Australia and the year 2015 encircle the design, anchoring the coin firmly within the Commonwealth tradition of monarchic representation. The denomination $1 reflects Australia's decimal currency system, which was introduced in 1966 to replace the former pounds, shillings, and pence system inherited from Britain. The Australian $1 coin was first introduced in 1984, replacing the $1 banknote, and it has since become one of the most common circulating coins in the nation's economy. The standard reverse design for the Australian $1 coin is the mob of kangaroos, created by Stuart Devlin, Australia's renowned goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen. This motif shows a lively group of kangaroos in motion, symbolizing energy, vitality, and the natural heritage of the continent. However, throughout the years, the Royal Australian Mint has also produced special commemorative editions of the $1 coin to mark historical events, cultural heritage, or international themes. Now, the interesting twist comes with the reference to Liberté Égalité Fraternité et l'Agrifolle. This is not a phrase associated with Australia at all, but rather with France. The motto Liberté Égalité Fraternité, meaning liberty, equality, fraternity, has been the official national motto of France since the French Revolution in the late 18th century. It embodies the revolutionary ideals of freedom from oppression, social equality, and brotherhood among citizens. The phrase has appeared on countless French coins, especially the franc and euro coins of the modern period. The name Christian Lagrafole refers to a well-known French engraver and designer of coinage, metals, and official insignia. He worked with the Monnaie de Paris, the Paris Mint, and was responsible for designs on French coins carrying the very motto in question. His style is characterized by clean lines, allegorical figures, and the embodiment of Republican values. Thus, when we see Lagrafole in this description, it suggests an influence from French numismatics. So, what does this mean when combined with a 2015 Australian $1 coin? In numismatic study, such a mixing of symbols could either be a misunderstanding, a fantasy coin, a privately struck token combining different cultural symbols, or simply a collector's description mixing multiple coins. Officially, Australia never struck a circulating $1 coin with the French Republican motto. However, in the world of commemorative and fantasy issues, some medallions and collector's coins may bring together these elements. For example, one might imagine a token bearing Queen Elizabeth II's portrait, as she is often shown on coins of the Commonwealth, on one side, and a French-inspired reverse showing Republican ideals, engraved in the style of Lagrafole, carrying the motto Liberté Égalité Fraternité. Such an item would not be legal tender in Australia, but it would still hold great artistic and collectible value, bridging the monarchic tradition of the British Commonwealth with the Republican ideals of France. The juxtaposition is symbolic. On one hand, Australia's monarchy reflects continuity, constitutional stability, and ties to centuries-old traditions of the crown. On the other hand, France's Republican motto emphasizes the struggle for human rights, social equality, and the overthrow of monarchic rule. Placing these two opposing symbols together in one design captures a deeper philosophical dialogue within history: monarchy versus republic, tradition versus revolution, hierarchy versus equality. It also mirrors the reality of modern numismatics, where art and symbolism often transcend national borders. The year 2015 is also significant. By this time, Queen Elizabeth II had already reigned for over 6 decades and was approaching her record-breaking milestone as the longest-serving British monarch. Meanwhile, in France, the motto Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité continued to appear on euro coinage, which had replaced the French franc in 2002. Around the world, coin collectors were increasingly interested in cross-cultural designs, commemoratives, and symbolic tokens that celebrated international heritage. It is very possible that a privately minted medallion or commemorative piece was created in 2015, merging Australian and French iconography, either as a tribute to historical values or as a collectible item. Therefore, when one examines a coin or medallion described as Liberty Égalité Fraternité $1 2015 Australia Elizabeth to Republic Lagerfeuille, it should be understood as a hybrid numismatic artifact, whether officially struck or privately issued. It represents the merging of monarchic imagery with republican ideals and of Commonwealth coinage with French artistry. Such a piece would fascinate both historians and collectors because it raises questions about symbolism, identity, and the evolution of currency as a medium of cultural expression. In conclusion, this coin, or more accurately, this symbolic numismatic creation, is a fascinating blend of worlds. The Australian $1 denomination anchors it in modern Commonwealth coinage. The effigy of Elizabeth II situates it within the legacy of monarchy. The motto Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité invokes the revolutionary spirit of France, and the name Lagerfeuille recalls the great engravers who shaped French coin art. Together, these elements form a narrative that spans continents and centuries, illustrating how coins are never merely economic instruments, but also carriers of ideology, politics, and cultural dialogue. The next up top to the coin inscribed with the motto Liberty, Égalité, Fraternité alongside the denomination of $1 dated 2016, Australia, featuring Queen Elizabeth II, and sometimes attributed to Republic and the designer. Lagerfeuille is a fascinating example of how world coinage often overlaps in symbolic meaning, design traditions, and national identities. The phrase Liberty, Égalité, Fraternité is the national motto of France, first officially adopted during the French Revolution, representing the ideals of freedom, equality before the law, and fraternity or brotherhood among citizens. Its appearance on certain collector or commemorative pieces, even in contexts beyond France, shows the widespread influence of these revolutionary ideals across the globe. The obverse of this coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, who was the monarch of Australia in 2016, her effigy typically designed by Ian Rank Broadley or other royal engravers depending on the minting year. Around the portrait is usually the inscription Elizabeth II Australia and the year 2016. The reverse design being described with Liberty Égalité Fraternité is unusual for an Australian coin, which leads collectors to believe it may be part of a special commemorative issue, a medallion, or a private mint strike inspired by French Republican themes. The name Lagerfeuille refers to Jean-Pierre Lagerfeuille, a French engraver and medalist known for designing coinage and commemorative issues often produced for the Monnaie de Paris Mint. His work combines classical allegorical elements with modern artistic flair, and if his name is connected with the piece, it indicates a cross-cultural or collaborative minting effort rather than a regular circulation coin. The presence of Republic on the same piece adds another layer of intrigue. It points towards French Republican symbolism, since coins struck under the Republic front case often display national personifications like Marianne, surrounded by the motto of liberty, equality, and fraternity. This raises the likelihood that the coin in question is not an official Australian circulating dollar, but rather a collector's fantasy piece, a commemorative token, or a limited issue medallion, combining both Australian and French elements for collectors worldwide. In the broader historical and cultural context, coins like this reflect how national identity and political ideals are preserved and transmitted through numismatic art. The motto itself dates back to the late 18th century and is deeply connected to the Enlightenment, the French Revolution of 1789, and the universal values that influence democracies worldwide. When tied to Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch of the United Kingdom and head of the Commonwealth, the coin merges two worlds, the traditions of monarchy and the ideals of Republican liberty. From a collector's standpoint, such a piece attracts attention because of its hybrid nature, Australian by monarch, French by motto, and artistically European through the engraver's touch. Many collectors seek these unusual issues as conversation pieces, symbolic artifacts, and educational tools that embody not only monetary value, but also ideological meaning. A 2016 bait also holds special importance in Elizabeth II's reign, marking her status as the longest-reigning British monarch by that time and cementing her role in global history. The motto liberty, equality, fraternity surrounding a dollar denomination evokes the universality of values that transcend borders, showing how coinage can serve as a bridge between different nations, cultures, and political systems. Its design elements, such as lettering style, bust detail, and inscriptions, are not just ornamental but also symbolic, with every choice reflecting historical continuity and ideological messages. Lagerfeuille's involvement gives the piece authenticity. In the world of fine metallic art, as he is known for producing official French issues and internationally recognized designs, whether viewed as a legal tender coin, a commemorative issue, or a private strike, this 2016 Liberty Eaglite Fraternit $1 coin represents the fascinating intersection of monarchy, republic, numismatics, and philosophy, embodying not only a monetary object but also a cultural artifact. It reminds us that coins are miniature history books in metal, telling stories of revolutions, empires, and the human search for freedom, unity, and shared destiny. The next up, top 3, the 2013 coin inscribed with Liberty Eaglite Fraternity $1, Australia, Elizabeth II, Republic. Lagerfeuille is a fascinating numismatic piece because it reflects not just the technical aspects of coinage, but also the cultural blending of motifs from different nations and traditions. On one side, the coin shows the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, a standard element for Australian coinage since Australia is a member of the Commonwealth and the Queen was its head of state until her passing in 2022. The effigy is surrounded by inscriptions of her name, Elizabeth II, along with the issuing country Australia and the face value $1. This design confirms its legal tender status in Australia, though most of these types of coins are minted as commemorative or collector's items rather than for circulation. The year 2013 is inscribed, indicating its minting year, a period during which the Royal Australian Mint frequently collaborated on special issues with international artists. The unusual addition of the words Liberty Eaglite Fraternit, the official motto of the French Republic, symbolizing liberty, equality, and fraternity reflects French cultural ideals and is not a typical inscription on Australian coins, which makes this piece unique. The reference to Republic and the name Lagerfeuille or Lagerfeuille suggests the work of an engraver or artist, most likely French, whose designs were sometimes adapted or mirrored in various private mint issues and collectors. Metals, such inscriptions demonstrate how modern coins sometimes transcend borders, incorporating symbols from different countries either as artistic tributes, commemorations of international relations, or as fantasy issues produced for collectors. The coin's obverse carries the royal image as a mark of legitimacy, while the reverse uses the universal French motto, binding together two worlds, the monarchy-driven Commonwealth tradition and the republican ideals of revolutionary France. This blend might confuse collectors at first, since Liberty Eaglite Fraternit would never officially appear on an Australian currency coin, yet this very strangeness adds value in terms of curiosity and collectability. Many such pieces are considered non-circulating legal tender NCLT or sometimes even fantasy issues coins not intended for actual financial exchange, but for thematic or symbolic value. The name Lagerfeuille could link to an engraver or medalist, whose designs were inspired by Republican France, and their adaptation on a dollar piece shows the global influence of artistry in coin minting. For collectors, this coin provides historical reflection, 2013 was a period when numismatic markets expanded globally, with mints issuing themed coins for international buyers, often borrowing powerful mottos and portraits to widen appeal. N. Numismatic study. Such coins are admired for their intricate symbolism. The Queen's effigy stands for continuity, authority, and Commonwealth heritage, while the French motto reflects revolutionary ideals of human rights and fraternity among nations. This duality makes the coin conversation piece appealing both to traditional coin collectors of Commonwealth issues and those fascinated by cultural crossovers in coinage. Its rarity is not in bullion content but in its hybrid symbolism and artistic expression, which ensures it will remain a unique example of 21st century numismatic creativity.